Hello and welcome to my video lecture, continuing my phpMyAdmin exploration for those that are new to the phpMyAdmin environment. So far, in previous videos, we have created our first database called MyFirst, all lowercase. We have now created a new table called user info, and we can see that there are the email, name, fname, lname, phone, user info ID, and zip code fields that have been created. And we can see that there is a primary index on the table. And this is, a nice little tool on the side to navigate your way in, or you can work your way in this way. So here we can click on databases. You can see that we have all of them listed here. You can click on MyFirst. I'm logged in as the root user, so I have full privileges to everything. I can see my user info table here, and I can see various options here. I can click on Browse, which would essentially run the select star from user info command. There's an empty record set because there are no records in that table. We could create views from here, but that's not what we want to do at this point. So if I go back to the table, if I go back to the database, I see my table listed. I can click on structure, which will actually show me the structure of my table. I have the ability to manipulate rows based on different things. So for instance, if I wanted to change the ability to leave nulls in. So for instance, maybe I don't know somebody's zip code, maybe I don't know their phone number. So I can click on change, and that's going to bring me to my zip code. And then what I can do is I can go over and I can click and allow null values by doing that. I can change the length, I can change default values, whatever I want. So I'm going to click save. And now you can see that this allows null. And then I can do the same thing with the phone. And click to allow nulls and click save. And now those two columns, I don't have to enter data in. They can be left blank. I can browse, I can do all that here as well. So I've got, but I'm going to go back to my database. So we can search, we can insert, we can empty the table, and we can drop the table. So empty is clearing out all of the records. Dropping is remove this table from the database. Two very different things. Here I also have the ability to create a second table. So if I'm ready to create my second table, this is the same process as we did in the video associated with building tables and databases. Searching, if I click on search, I can put values in here and that would filter my result set. And as you can see, there are different kinds of operators you can use. I could look for a user info ID that would equal 10, right? I could change this and I could say the ones that are greater than 10, etc. I can find and replace values if I wanted. So I'm going to go back to my database and I can insert. So if I wanted to insert information, I can click on insert. The default here is that it's going to insert 2 rows. I can change that to 1. So that only one of these dialogues appears, one of these sections appear. I can just type in values right here, and it would put it into my table for me. But we're going to do that a different way later. We're going to use our PHP pages to do our data inserting. And once I inserted it in, I can click go, and then it would insert it in. Here you can see I can insert it as a new row. I can ignore errors. I could actually just look at the insert query, see what was written for me by this interface. And then either I can leave this and insert another row, or I can go back to the previous page after I'm done inserting my data. So those are some of the tools associated with the table now that you have one. You can see the initial size is only 16 kilobytes. Again, the type is InnoDB. And that is pretty much all of the little tools that you have available to you to use when it comes to interfacing with your table in the phpMyAdmin interface.